Hello! Welcome along to this week's episode of the Let's Get Running podcast with the hosts. I am! And so is Jermaine the Caramel Kid.
What? What was that? I am.
No, I don't know. Anyway, I'm Sean the White Devil, and this is Jermaine the Caramel Kid. How are you doing, Jermaine?
Well, I'm good. Sean's obviously smoking some. He's a little crazy today, a little cranky.
So yeah, this is a pre-recorded show because I might be having a baby. So we are getting it out in advance, but we will be chatting some lovely stuff and enjoy.
But this is Injury Corner, right?
This is Injury Corner. So this is the second instalment of our lovely Injury Corner. We're talking about one of the most common injuries everyone will see is runner's knee or patellofemoral pain.
Or peripheral.
Profiteroles. Profiterole pain on the side of the knee. But anyway, we should say how...
Yeah. First, we need to see how London Transport's going.
Yeah, how is it going? Yeah.
So on my new route, driving along, and the route, if you do the route with no traffic, it takes 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's North Greenwich to Russell Square. But because there's so much traffic, they give you an hour and 50 minutes, yeah?
Yeah.
So you spend most of the time sitting in traffic, which is fine. I don't mind that because you get paid for doing nothing, just sitting.
Yeah.
So we're at Tower Bridge. Traffic's always rammed at Tower Bridge.
Yeah.
And like most people, they don't like walking to the traffic lights, to go over the traffic lights to get on the other side of the road. They like to cut through the traffic.
Yeah.
And like most people, they think, I'll walk in front of the bus because he will stop. But it's actually safe if you walk in front of a car because if you get hit, you can roll over the top of it. Where a bus, you just get flattened and go underneath the bus.
Yeah.
Anyway. So this person is crossing the road and crosses in front of my bus.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it used to bother me, and I used to park up as close as I can to the car in front so they can't get ahead. Yeah. But now it doesn't bother me. So he's walking in front of my bus.
Yeah. But
then the lights change.
Yeah.
And the cars on my outside start to go, and he steps out in front.
Yeah.
So the car brakes and obviously toots him.
Yeah.
And he kicks the car and slaps his hand on their bonnet.
No.
And then obviously walks onto the pavement.
Yeah.
And the guy gets out of his car and then they start pushing each other. But I'm about to get my popcorn, you know, start watching. But everyone keeps tooting me because the lights are green. Yeah. And I'm like, shit. And you know, I really want to watch it. So I'm turning left.
Yeah.
But looking out the window, looking right. I'm thinking, because I'm trying. I didn't know what happened. I just didn't know what happened because I had to go.
So you didn't see it then? You didn't see the finale of the fight?
No, I know all of that. All that build up, and I didn't see what happened.
That happened to me, right, in Devon at Christmas, right? We were there was a big traffic jam in this little town we were staying in called Modbury, right? And this guy basically was like pulled over, like screeched over to the side, got out, started beeping. This other guy comes over, he punched this guy's car. And it was like, oh God, what's going on here? But the guy he got out his car and hit this guy's car. The guy behind was obviously doing something bad. I don't know what it was. But this old guy got out his car and I thought he must have been in his like 60s, 70s probably. And he whacks the back of this guy's car. Out of that car gets this young, like massive stacked guy, walks over to the old guy. And the old guy, you know, in a fight, an old guy someone pushes someone else. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then it's
they give him the shove. Yeah, like the get ready to fight shove.
Yeah, and it then only really progresses to the fight if the other guy then goes back. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you need a little tit for tat, and then it becomes a fight. So I was thinking, I can't sit back and watch this old guy get beaten up because the odds were stacked against him. So I thought I've got to go and intervene in this. So
because you're MMA specialist.
I'm MMA specialist. I've got arms the circumference of 10 pp's. So I thought I've just got to try and, like, if I can confuse them both, then I can diffuse the situation. So I just went and just basically stood in front of the old guy. And as soon as I went round the outside of the old guy, I realised, oh damn! And like I realised the back of his head looked like an old guy, but the front of his head, he wasn't an old guy. It was like, oh God, this guy can actually handle himself. Yeah.
So at the back, he had like a grey Mohican.
A bald head, like, you know, like a monk, a bit like a monk, like a bald head, grey head.
And then when he goes round to the front, he had like all his teeth missing and he had scars on his face. Yeah.
He wasn't so old and so as weak as I imagined. And as soon as I said to him, I said, "Hey, come on, mate, it's not worth it." He goes, "Just you effing watch what you do," and stuff like, and started going at me, and it's like, "Oh no, what have I done?" I'm a wimp. I only did it because I thought I was protecting an old man, but then the end of it, his rage turned at me. But the good thing was, I think, because I got in the way, the tit for tat stopped, and then the old guy walked off, and it was fine. But yeah, that was
nah. You need to get popcorn and what? You never never intervene. Are you crazy?
I just thought I was sticking up for the old man, but anyway, it happened. It went away, and no one got punched. Fortunately,
you know what happened to the hero? He didn't make it.
The hero never makes it in the war movies, does it? But hey, this is nothing about running, and I haven't done any running for 3 weeks. I'm coming back soon, but I've had 3 weeks off. It's been lovely.
Okay.
I've drank a lot of booze, which has been exciting. Not really. Like I've almost forced myself to drink. It's like, oh, I better drink now because I haven't drank for so long. So I'll have a glass of wine, but I'm not really enjoying it. So I think I'm going to start running again.
Well, you're going to have to if we got blimmin'.
Yes.
Other podcast shows to beat up.
Yeah. If you didn't hear last week's show, we are embarking on a challenge. Cloud259 are going to come up with the details, and we're going to be racing off against lots of other podcasts. We want you to get involved, but we haven't got the full details yet, so we will give you those when we have them, which is probably going to be pretty soon. So yeah, get involved. I better get fit. Better get on it. But we're here to talk about today about it's Injury Corner. We've got Scott Newton, the London running physio. He works at the Run Fast Clinic up in Houndsditch, which is part of the Running Works store, which is one of the friends of the shows. They are good guys over there, so visit if you are in London.
That's what Let's Get Running HQ.
That's Let's Get Running Podcast HQ. We did a nice live show there, which is quite good. Yeah, so go and visit those guys. But also Scott's there. Scott's been treating me. Scott's treated me for a long period. He's treated Paul Martelletti, who we've interviewed on the show. So Scott knows his stuff. Like Noel on the previous week, they know their stuff about run injuries. But what have you ever had runner's knee? Patellofemoral, profiteroles?
I've had. Like, I don't know what runner's knee is, but like I know at the moment, because if you stop running and you start running again, I've been having like pains at the top of my shins right below the knee. So I don't know if that's runner's knee or not, but like you just have to sort of like day on, day off, and it almost like your bones get a bit tougher, and it goes away after a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I think it's hard with runner's knee because it's actually difficult to know what exactly constitutes like you say, runner's knee. I think, Scott's can explain properly, it's pain on the outside of the knee, right?
Right. I've had that once. I've had that once before the national, junior nationals. Yeah. My sister hit me with a frying pan on my knee, and I had a really bad pain down the side of my knee. That's
not it though. That's not runner's knee. That's sister frying pan knee. It's a whole different ball game. Yeah.
What about you, Sean? What about you?
I've had it. I get it from time to time because I think with me because I'm a little bit malaligned, right? So I think my left leg. I think if you look at me run, if you took a slow motion video of me. Because of maybe something in my lower back, maybe somewhere else, I can't remember which one it is, but one of my legs crosses over a lot more than the other. So like when you're running, like you're running on a tightrope, most people, they cross over slightly, but like, and you shouldn't, that's not a good thing to do, but I cross over with one leg more than the other. So when you land across your body... So
so almost like your left leg is trying to run on the same path as your right leg, but your right leg's only running in the middle.
Yeah. And it means like that because you land therefore on the outside of your foot, because if you can imagine your foot goes across your body, you land on the outside of the foot and you roll in, like so you pronate quite heavily. I think because every now and again when my trainers aren't, I wore my trainers down or will wear like more of a lightweight shoe for lots of runs, because they haven't got that support, then because my left leg's coming over a bit more because I'm pronating more on that side, it puts a little bit more stress on the outside of the knee because often your knee collapses inwards. Do you know what I'm trying to say here? So you land on the outside of the foot and roll inwards, and sometimes if your knee and your hips aren't strong enough, sometimes you'll collapse in a little bit of the knee. And I get that so I get a little pain around the outside of the knee because I'm collapsing in a little bit, and it's putting stress down the outside of my leg. So it's like my ITB band.
IT band. Yeah.
That becomes a lot tighter because of
It's
that
overloaded.
collapse,
and
collapsing motion. So whenever I get it, it doesn't last long. I just do like those sideways, what do you call it, walks? What do you call them?
Well, like the football drills.
No, I do. I put a resistance band around my ankles.
Oh, you do crab walks.
Crab walks are good, and I find doing lots of side planks with leg lifts often help me out, and a little bit of massage. Not on the ITB band because that's not good now because recent research. Scott's probably better at suggesting stuff than me, but I think you don't really want to like foam roll the IT band as such because it's inelastic. So you want to look at areas that connected to the IT band rather than the rather than the
You
band.
might have thrown some A, B's and C's in there the way you're going on.
Yeah. Listen, it's early, everybody. I'm a bit confused, but you shouldn't necessarily roll the band because that's not going to do anything. It's just going to increase the band.
Just abbreviate it with just the band.
Just the band. Yeah. But you got to like massage around the insertions of the band. I think that's right. I'm pretty sure that's right. So like muscles like your glute medius and stuff needs to be loosened off rather than the band itself. Anyway, so whenever I do that, I usually get it back on track.
Yeah. But like obviously, it sounds like for your problem, the shoes make a big difference as well. Yeah,
making sure I've got good shoes. I tried to eradicate the crossover, but it's a difficult thing to do. Like because I try and improve strength in my glute medius, but I think the main issue is tied to tightness in my left lower back. So basically, the chain can't quite work properly, and because it's not. Maybe the glute isn't able to elongate as long as it should do. There's stress, which means the left leg floats over. But so it's something that's really hard to change. And I've done loads of work to try and change it, and I've just got to manage it now because I'm in my 30s and I'm not gonna win the Olympics. So what's the point? So but yeah, it's related to that, I think. So that was a very technical explanation, and Scott's going to go on to the technical stuff. But I think it's really common. Loads of people like have knee problems. I think.
Well, what makes me laugh is people they strap those knee straps on and stuff.
Oh yeah, you see those people wearing them. It's like,
what is that doing? That does nothing.
Yeah,
that does nothing.
Yeah.
But I know sometimes people put the like Rambo bandana.
Yeah.
Around the top of their shin.
Yeah.
And I think they do that obviously to keep certain things in place. But even then, I think does it really work?
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, I think they do. Physios do say like the tape can be helpful.
Well, the tape supposedly, and I did use it, but it's like it's supposed to pull your muscles, so it helps keep them in a certain position.
Okay, yeah, and I can understand how that might be useful. I think taping and stuff, but yeah, those old school knee braces, chuck them out if you've got any left in your house. Chuck them out; they're not worth anything.
But hey, well, you could sell them on eBay.
Sell them on eBay. But we'll have a chat with Scott now. He's going to talk to us more about runner's knee, how you can avoid it, and some measures to put in place to stop that happening. So here's Scott. So on this week's Injury Corner, I'm speaking to physio Scott Newton. How you doing, Scott?
Yeah, well, Sean. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
No trouble. And you're for a number of years you've treated me, so I can give you a big thumbs up and sign of approval.
Before you escaped.
Yeah, before I escaped to the nether. I was going to say the nether regions there, the Netherlands. But where can people find you? Whereabouts is the best place to direct people if people are interested in checking out where you are operating?
Okay, yeah. My website, londonrunningphysio.com. That takes. I work at 2 clinics in the city of London, both within a minute of each other. One's at the Running Works and one's part of a bigger sort of chain of clinics called Complete Physio. So
fantastic, right?
Yeah.
But head to London Running Physio first to find out more.
Yeah, that will give you the direction. If you're interested. Yeah,
fantastic. And we're today going to be talking about. I've been trying to say this off air, so I'm going to keep getting the pronunciation wrong. We'll talk about runner's knee, patellofemoral pain. I nailed it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, patellofemoral pain. So yeah, patella, kneecap, femoral. Yeah, your thigh bone. Yeah, pain at the front of your knee. Yeah.
Fantastic. So that's my first question: is what is patellofemoral pain? What is a patellofemoral? You've said that kneecap, and what is it about? What's the prognosis with that injury?
Okay, yeah, of course. So statistically, it's the most common cause of knee pain in runners. It's where you sort of develop pain that you sort of feel in the front of your knee. Sometimes be quite diffuse. Sometimes feel like it's sort of behind the kneecap. Things that classically sort of aggravate it, I guess, other than running, particularly downhill running, squatting, even descending stairs, and things like that. So,
well, what is the actual pain? Is it inflammation of the kneecap? What's the actual, in layman's terms, what's happening?
Yeah, good. But it is essentially sort of an overload of your kneecap joints, and there are sort of various factors that can sort of contribute to that overload, and sometimes sort of irritation of the surface of the kneecap. Probably to give you a really oversimplified example, if you kind of think about your kneecap as sort of behaving a bit like a train carriage, and then your thigh acting like the train track. In order for those to sort of run nice and smoothly, you need be able to sort of have good strength and stability in your hip muscles and your thigh muscles, so that your sort of train track stays nice and stable for the train carriage to run on it. If there's an element there where your train track's going a bit off skew, i.e. maybe your knee sort of really sort of wobbles inwards when you do things like squat and run, things like that, it can lead to some irritation on the kneecap for your train carriage, in my little analogy.
Yeah.
And that can then become irritated and overloaded. In people that are maybe 40 plus, there can sometimes be a component where you get a little bit of arthritic change and things like that can contribute to symptoms in that kneecap joint. Classically, it's why do runners get it? Quite often it's to do with sort of a change in their loading. So marathon training, so sort of volume starts to creep up a little bit too quickly, or maybe introducing a little bit too much in the way of maybe sort of hill training, or even, there might be a catalyst where a really hilly route or trail half marathon or something like that, where the downhill forces and the ability to sort of stabilize hip, knee, and so on, and maintain good, if you like, train track mechanics for your patella, a lot more challenging, and you can then develop pain and problems as a consequence of those things.
Yeah, and so it's like an inflammation, you'd say. Is inflammation because things aren't quite running along the right trajectory?
Yeah, absolutely. So because things aren't running along the right trajectory, and/or an increase in the load capacity of that joint, where you just like muscles, joints have to adapt.
Yeah.
To a training load. So if you're doing a lot more, the too much too soon, then that can quite often be a cause of problems.
Yeah. And how, can we, strange question, but can we run through it? How much can we manage it ourselves and keep going?
Can you run through it? Yeah, I guess you can run through most things to a point. I guess whether that's sensible or not is another question.
Okay, so at what point then do you think it's time to see a physio? Where would you suggest that niggle becomes something an issue?
So I think if you've had something that's been there with you on maybe 3 runs, and it sort of stayed sort of with you during a run, you're aware of it afterwards, or maybe even the next day you're developing a sense of maybe stiffness or soreness, maybe when you get out of bed, or when you're doing things like squatting or going down the stairs, then there'd definitely be sort of little red flags to say, something needs to be done to improve it.
Yeah. Okay. And from layman's terms, or for someone quite simple like me, is it, how connected is it to the IT ban? Is it a direct result of problems with the IT ban? Is it the same thing? Are ITB issues the same thing as?
Okay, yeah, no, good question. Yeah. So strictly speaking, no, it's not, because the classic IT band syndrome, or iliotibial band friction compression syndrome, as it's sometimes casually referred to. Yeah. Results in sort of very much pain on the outside of your knee, so lateral knee pain. Whereas with a sort of a true patellofemoral joint, kneecap joint pain, it will be much more at the front on the anterior aspect of the knee somewhere. Right. Some of the underlying mechanics of why you get one and the other can be quite similar. So, if you've got poor sort of strength around hip, thigh muscles, maybe a tendency where at the foot, maybe you sort of, your foot rolls inward excessively, and things like that. That can contribute to knee collapse, as it's sometimes referred to, and where you can put increased tension and so on through the ITB. Which would also cause, a little bit of sort of, if you like, maltracking in the kneecap joint as well. So some of the underlying sort of mechanics can be quite similar, but they're strictly speaking different problems.
Okay, and how do you treat then? How do you treat patellofemoral pain? How do you deal with that injury as a physio?
As a physio, so I guess sort of moving away from any like hands-on taping type treatment, things like that. Probably like first priority is just to get people to adjust their training volume so that they're not constantly annoying their symptoms. So, as basic as that is, that's probably priority number one, of just getting someone on board with modifying activity. As obsessive runners, it's sometimes a bit difficult, isn't it, to kind of think, I should be doing this in my training program, I'm supposed to do my long run this weekend, but actually just to get, if you can run, if you've got a sort of safe running volume, which might be, you can do 5k fine, but when you creep up to 7, 8k plus, that's where the pain sits. So we might say, okay, first thing is we'll keep you running, but you're only allowed to run at around 5k. So that'd be the first thing, just to get them at a load that's manageable. If any amount of running is a problem, then you need to back off and then maybe look at other exercises that put less load through the knee. Like, I don't know, maybe cycling or swimming, just to maintain sort of fitness there. Then probably next things down the line from a physio point of view, looking at assessing sort of strength in lateral hip muscles, so lateral portion of glutes, quads control, even calf strength, looking for any deficits there. How well does someone control simple movements, the classic single leg squat, can someone keep a really nice square pelvis and maintain really nice hip, knee, toe alignment where the knee doesn't really drift in, the foot doesn't really roll in when they're doing that, or is that something they struggle with? So looking at the tracking mechanics, quite often taping, so K-taping, you see lots of sort of professional sports people strapped up with these days, can be helpful in just adjusting contact pressures and force in the kneecap joint, and that can quite often allow someone to a little pain-free window to sometimes run, but also engage sort of well with the rehab. Other basics, so being excessively tight in quadriceps and hip flexors and calf muscles can sometimes lead to problems in terms of our mechanics. So tight quads and hip flexors can sometimes increase a bit of compression through the kneecap joint, which can contribute to that. If you're really tight in your calf muscles, that can sometimes lead to more of a tendency for your knee to sort of drop and collapse inwards as you try and transfer your centre of mass over your body. But because you can't take it straight forwards because your calf restricts you, you have to sort of collapse inwards a little bit. So that can sometimes be muscle length factors to look at.
Okay. But looking at that then, so it's giving me a few ideas on preventative measures. So if we haven't got it, how do we stop ourselves getting knee pain? What would you say are sort of 2 or 3 things that you think good things to look into, maybe in terms of your form or perhaps in terms of your stretching and strength? Where would you start?
I'll pick up on the form thing, because the other thing that I didn't get to a moment ago because I was waffling on was about the role of your running form and so on. So there are quite a few sort of good studies now that have shown that if you overstride, if you have a particularly slow step rate or cadence, that the load that goes through the knee can increase quite considerably. So we also know that simple things like just gently increasing your step rate can sometimes be part of addressing running form in a way that can reduce loading on the knee. I think it's, in my experience, it's not quite as simple as just saying, okay, get a metronome and run at 180 steps per minute. Because a lot of people end up running like Charlie Chaplin, and it's certainly not the most efficient way of maybe getting good hip drive and things like that. But that can be a component of addressing running form.
Is there anything else in terms of preventative measures?
Number one preventative measure, I think, for me, and this is with most running injuries. I think most of them come about through training error, doing too much too soon. So I think one of the first things is to kind of make sure that you don't fall into that trap. And this is where I think, for some people, having someone like yourself to provide like a structured coaching program that, gives very measured progression of your running volume, maybe as you're preparing for a half marathon, full marathon, whatever goal it is, can be massively beneficial, just so you've got that external control there. Yeah, that hopefully stops you getting sort of too carried away and stops you increasing training volume and intensity too rapidly. So I think that's probably absolute number one. Yeah. The other bits of preventative work are, for most people, we need to increase our robustness and try and do some strength and conditioning work, at least a couple of times a week. It doesn't have to be something that takes 3 hours in the gym to do, but even just 2 half-hour sessions a week where you're decent lower body and core strengthening work. So it might be things like barbell squats, leg press, knee extensions, some form of hamstring conditioning, strengthening of sort of the lateral hip muscles, and bizarrely things like side planks and so on, sort of linking well to that. But I think make sure that there's that solid kind of strength and conditioning element there. If you've got a particularly sort of interesting foot posture and you've tried all of the above and yet you're still getting symptoms, then it's certainly worth having a look at the influence of like footwear and possibly seeing a podiatrist to have a look at maybe getting a shoe insert or an orthotic, which for some people can be helpful. Right. Sometimes they can be used as just a short-term measure, just in a little bit of a plaster cast type analogy way, that whilst your patellofemoral joint's a bit irritable, if you can change the load on it by changing what happens at the foot, that can help, along with other things as well. So, certainly worth being fairly eclectic with these things. Yeah. Okay. Leaving every base untouched. No, that's the wrong phrase. But trying to cover every base. Absolutely. Couldn't get out of there. And before we finish, one thing it's going to maybe touching on a different injury, which is the ITB stuff. Where do you stand now? Because for a while there was a huge, big rush to buy self-massage implements and that sort of thing. With this particular injury, how useful are things like foam rollers and sticks and that sort of thing to help ease maybe tightness around muscles that are affecting the knee? Yeah, I think they've got a role potentially. So if part of your problem is that you're really time restricted up on hip flexors and so on, things like foam rolling, I think can be useful just to help with that. I've seen a few people get carried away with foam rolling and end up like really bruised, or doing it every day for far too long, and I think they can sort of swing a good thing to being being a bit overzealous with it. So I think you've got to be measured in what you do. But definitely there's a role for some sort of self foam rolling. Sometimes as well, like taping. So if you go and see a physio and you can really improve sort of your knee pain in clinic, that might be just simply looking single leg squat. It hurts without tape, put some tape on in a particular way. And there are lots of different ways to tape your kneecap. It feels a lot better. Then it might be that your physio just show you how to tape the knee to improve your comfort and help you get running and crack on with your rehab a little bit more effectively. Just as a short-term measure. Excellent. And the final thing with the rolling, people, I don't know if this is mainstream advice now, but I've heard something about not rolling the ITB itself. Is that, would you agree with that? Is that? Oh, yeah. I think the argument stems from the ITB. If you look at it in sort of cadaveric specimens, so like dissections, we know it can hang an unfathomable amount of weight on it, and it just doesn't change or extend or anything like that. Yeah. So I think that's the rationale where that sort of mindset sort of comes from, of not rolling the ITB directly. Now, because it would make a blind bit of difference, basically. In terms of if your mechanism is trying to lengthen the ITB, so that makes sense to me. But I guess there are lots of other things that can sometimes sort of generate tension and pain, which might be underlying sort of deep muscles to that. Sometimes there might be a bit more of a sort of central nervous system input into that. So can you desensitize the area a little bit? So it's one of those things where I'd say it's worth trying. Try it for a week. And see just how it feels yourself. Does it feel helpful to do it or not? So I wouldn't say it's an absolute no-no for me. Excellent. And the good thing is we said the word cadaver
I've never had that mentioned on the podcast in 3 years. I think you even said cadaverish, didn't you? I'm not really sure. So that's a first. I can tick that.
Cadaveric, yeah.
Cadaveric, yeah. I like that. That's my new favourite word. Nice.
Right,
Excellent.
Okay, cool.
I'll leave you to get back to your patient, Scott. But thanks a lot for talking, and hopefully we'll speak to you again on Injury Corner.
Great. Thanks very much for having me on. Cheers, Sean.
So, nice interview there with Scott. Hopefully there's some useful insight for those people who have been suffering from runner's knee or have had it in the past and want to avoid picking it up again. So thanks, Scott, for that. Yeah. So were you getting yourself ready, Jermaine? What's your new regime for the running? You getting yourself all set for our challenge, getting out there and hitting some miles?
Well, when I thought I was only getting fit for football and a bit of RAF, obstacle course training, I was like, 1 pack of biscuits every day and maybe 2 runs of half an hour. Now I'm like, I'm doing 45 minutes 2 days in a row and having 1 day off, so I'm slowly building up.
Okay, that's good. We're going to be there.
So we'll see how it goes, but I'm well off sessions. Yeah,
you'll get there. You've got the.
But I am doing my secret. I'm doing some secret weapon stuff. So at the end of my runs, I do like 200-meter sprints. Maybe like 2 lamppost lengths, and I absolutely nail it.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm going slow, but I was thinking, at least if I got a sprint at the end, I can get some extra points in.
Yeah. And I tell you what, you haven't run for a long time, but I bet you're still faster at sprinting than me.
Probably because you was talking about one glute's bigger than the other.
Yeah, so it takes me an hour to get moving. Jesus. Anyway, but we've had some nice reviews. Well, we've had a review that I can see out here on Let's Get Run.
From our millions and millions.
From our millions of reviews, I'm picking one, and it's from someone called Burn Running. So it could be either the place Bern, or it could be in Switzerland, or it could be a person called Bern. Either way, they've sent us a 5-star review, so thanks for that, Bern. It says, bus stories are a bonus. And he said, laughing at the Halloween University students in fancy dress showdown with the 14-year-old hoodie crowd with fireworks and the podcast. My bus journeys are never that exciting, and the running tips are great too. So thanks, Bern, for that. We will read out all your reviews because we like to have reviews. They give us more reach, and we can get more people listening to the show, which is good for us. Allows us to keep it going. So thanks.
And we big you up. We send love.
We big up. We send love because we think it's nice for you to do that for us. Thank you very much for the review from Bern. And as always, check out the shop on Let's Get Running. You can do letsgetrunning.co.uk/shop, and you can see the t-shirt and the vest there. Those vests, we need to make another order if we get enough interest, so please let us know. If you're going to do the challenge with us, you've got to be wearing the vest, man. You've got to wear the vest, you've got to buy it.
And we want to expand, obviously, YouTube. Tell people we're on YouTube.
Get on the YouTube, Let's Get Running on YouTube. Don't forget, the apostrophe, because I think if you don't put the apostrophe, you get some weird stuff. So just make sure the apostrophe's in there. You don't want to go looking at some weird videos from elsewhere. But we'll do that. The show, as always, is up there, and we're going to start putting other stuff up there, videos, tips and stuff up there soon. We're going to be trying to do.
Well, I guess if we did the YouTube and say for the injury corner, we could do have some diagrams, or you could have Sean modelling some of the stuff.
Yeah, in Dick's gyms. Yeah, that'd be perfect. And we are going to look to start doing a series very soon about various race distances. So we're going to look at perhaps 10K. We're going to try and interview someone from the world of running historically who has run quick at that distance and how they trained and what they would advise for people who are looking to do that distance, which is going to be really good. So we're going to do 10K, half marathon and marathon, get some really interesting tips from people and relay those back, so we get some good videos going for that as well, which should be interesting. So keep in touch. Cool. Subscribe to all of our various channels. We love to have people interacting with us. Don't just subscribe. Give us a comment, give us a chat, and we will all reply.
And the more crazy and wackier your tag name is, obviously, the more jokes and banter we can have. So Perfect. That's all good.
That's what we like. Lovely. Right, I'm going to go off and get prepared for the arrival of my small child, and we will be in touch soon when it is arrived, hopefully. So fingers crossed.
And
touch wood. Where's wood? Touch wood.
Are you going to wrap him in one of your vests?
She, little.
Oh, she, sorry.
Little she. She's going to be from the day she's born. I'm going to buy her a pair of Adidas Adios, and get her out doing some reps from day one. I'm going to get her doing leg exercises
on a hamster wheel or something. A hamster wheel. Just have her legs.
She's going to be doing planks from the moment she comes out of the womb. She's going to be right on it. Right, I need a stable core, all that sort of thing. Yeah. That sounds like I'm going to be mistreating my child, which I have no intention of doing. So don't call up social services. Yeah. I am joking. I'm making a joke. Anyway, let's head off.
Cool.
We'll be back in touch soon. See you later.
See you, man. Bye.